Hello, everybody. Board Game Lawyer here. It is November 17th, 2023, and today is a good day. Today is the release of two brand new heroes for the game Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games, the living card game, and today is the day that we get two brand new heroes released to us that we can play in the game, and I am so excited to play with both of these. I've been waiting for a while, it feels like, for both of these heroes to come out. And so it's release day. I got a package in the mail today from my friends over at the Griffons Lair, who is a game store in Pennsylvania. There's two locations, Erie and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They sent me my copies of X-23 and Deadpool, and I am going to open those this evening, and I'm going to hopefully get in a game with both of them. I'm just going to open one for now. I'm going to put Deadpool off to the side. I'm excited for Deadpool. It's hard to pick which one. Right, so X-23 or Deadpool, but I think I'm going to open up X-23 first and try to do a playthrough with her. So we'll save Deadpool for later on this evening, maybe after a beer or two, and we're going to play a game, hopefully with X-23 starting out. So before I can play a game, though, I have to unbox X-23, and so I'll go ahead and do that now. So as we know, there is this wonderful little piece of tape on the front cover of all of the heroes that come out. So it comes off, I'm getting good at it. Get that little piece of tape off, and I'm going to go ahead and crack open the packaging here. And the first thing that I always dig for whenever I open up a brand new pack of cards is the rules, to see if there's anything that's been added that we need to learn about. So let me go ahead and pop open the rules. The advantage to these rules is that they have a very nice poster on the other side, right? And there's X-23. All right, looking very fit. All right, so X-23, the hero pack, says, as a clone of the mutant Wolverine, X-23 shares his claws and healing factor. Having been exploited by the facility as a child, she has become a fierce protector of the young and the innocent, especially her own clone and adopted sister Gabby. Okay, and we'll learn about her sister, I guess. So the new card type is a side scheme. We've seen those if you've been playing in the Next Evolution wave. You've certainly seen player side schemes by now. There's also a new keyword that's called assault. It says when a character makes a basic thwart or a scheme with the assault keyword, that character uses its attack instead of its thwart for that thwart. Okay, let me read that again. When a character makes a basic thwart on a side scheme, on a scheme, period, with the assault keyword, that character uses its attack instead of its thwart for that thwart. If that character is an ally, it takes the consequential damage used under its attack after the thwart. Okay, so that's a new keyword that we need to learn. Always nice to learn something new in a game. And again, this is the first time I've really looked at these cards, so bear with me as I learn, and we'll see what we can figure out. So the assault, I may have to reference the rules again on that if that comes up in the gameplay. There's also a new keyword, linked, which is a card title. It says cards with the linked keyword cannot be included in a player's deck. Instead, they are set aside at the start of the game. If any player's deck includes the card that brings the linked cards into play, indicated on the parentheses found following the keyword, linked cards do not count toward the minimum or maximum deck size. Huh. All right, so that's the first time I've seen that. It says this product comes with 4 cards linked to the player's side scheme. Specialized training, found in X-23's pre-built deck. These cards are found after the divider card at the back of the pack and should be set aside during setup when playing with the pre-built deck. Okay, I'll try to figure that out as we go. It says featured keyword piercing. We know piercing. It says attack with piercing. Discards tough status cards. That's an old one. And then Victory X. When a card with the Victory X keyword is defeated, place it in the victory display instead of its owner's discard pile. All right, so good. We've got some new keywords to learn. That's always exciting when there's an addition to a game. And you know, the nice thing about Marvel Champions is that they don't throw a lot of things at you. It seems like every time there's something new that comes out, it's just a few things to add to it. So that's nice. And I like the fact that this expansion was designed and developed by Michael Boggs, excellent game designer, and Tony Fanchi, who also is an excellent game designer. So thank you, fellas, for all your hard work on this brand new card. I'm sure it's going to be pretty cool. So X-23 is Laura Kinney. All right. So enough with the rules. I'm going to keep those handy though because there are some new keywords, and I'll probably reference those as I set things up here and go through my playthrough today. All right, so let's get into this pack. So as we know, it's nicely shrink wrapped every time, and that's another one of my physical challenges. It's kind of like the Jenga part of the whole thing. So getting into these brand new cards sometimes can be a little bit of a challenge. Let's see if we can pop this one open without any blood spilt. All right, got my knife, got my cards, got the shrink wrap off. Smell the smell. Smell the new card smell. It's like opening up a new magazine or popping open a brand new game. There's always that brand new smell. So let's take a look. I'm going to sleeve my cards as I go because I hope to play a game right immediately after I open everything up. So let's look at the cards here. Bear with me as I read the text because this is my first time really dissecting this or looking at a lot of these cards. So we're gonna take a look at these. So anyway, Laura Kinley. Oh, awesome recovery. 10 hit points, 6 recovery. Alter Ego. She has a skink setup. Put X-23's claws into play. Oh, good. So there's an upgrade here that's going to go into play immediately. At the beginning of the game, it says action shuffle either the Honey Badger ally or the Sisterly Bond event from your discard pile into your deck. Draw 1 card, and you can do this a limit of once per round. So I guess if you mulligan, or if you draw open those cards, that's a way to get an extra card play. And I haven't seen Honey Badger or Sisterly Bond yet, so who knows? Maybe you want to keep those and not discard them. We'll see what happens. All right, so that's hand size of 6 in her alter ego form. Her hero side says X-23, thwart of 2. She has an attack of 1, defense of 2, so it's a low attack. It says living weapon, response after X-23 takes any amount of damage. Ready, X-23. Limit once per phase. Any amount of damage, once per phase. So, okay. So on her hero phase or the villain phase, she can take damage, take any amount of damage. I wonder if 0 damage is something that she could take. Deals 0 damage. Probably not. I don't know. I'll have to look that up and see if that. Let me look and see if that's in the rules. Let's see. Yeah. Interesting. I guess it's possible to take 0 damage. Any amount of damage. Okay. Questions. All right. So I don't want to stick too much on that. So X-23, thwart, attack, defense. We've got X-23 claws. Here's our upgrade that we start in the beginning of the game. Hero action, exhaust X-23 claws and take 2 damage. X-23 gets +2 attack until the end of the round. Okay, so you attack, exhaust claws, take 2 damage, you take damage, she's readied, she gets +2 attack to the end of the round. It's only a one-sided card, so since we're already putting cards out there, I'll go ahead and put these are my Dragon Shield sleeves. So I got Dragon Shield Classic sleeves that I use for my hero. And then I use Night Blue for the hero cards. So since she's only this is only a one-sided upgrade, I'll go ahead and sleeve that up. So there's the X-23 claws. There's Honey Badger. Let's see what she does. She's an ally. Gabby Kinley. Hero response after Honey Badger takes any amount of damage. Ready X-23. Okay, so another way to ready X-23. So X-23 is just going to be a slicer and a dicer, it seems like, based upon the cards that I've seen so far. All right, only 2 health for Honey Badger. But she only costs 2, which is not bad. Okay. Our next card is Animal Instinct, which says when X-23 makes a basic thwart, she gets plus X thwart this thwart where X is equal to her attack. So we've already seen ways to ramp up her attack. She's got 2 Animal Instincts. So when she makes a basic thwart, looks like I got all my sleeves upside down here. Let me flip those around so that I'm putting them on right. All right, good. And then here's Animal Instinct. And there's 2 copies of that. Now we have Claw Mastery, and she has 3 copies of Claw Mastery. It says max 1 per round. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. It's an event. Costs 1. Until the end of the round, X-23 gets plus 2 attack, and her attacks gain overkill while Honey Badger is in play. So there's got to be ways to get Honey Badger out there onto the table because there's so much reference to Honey Badger in the game. And so far, I haven't seen that one keyword that I'm going to be looking for. See what that keyword is again? That keyword is linked. It has a linked card title. Okay. Anything with Honey Badger so far on link? No, it just says X-Men. Okay. All right. Again, this is really the first time looking at these cards. So there's the Claw Mastery. Regenerative Longevity. Heal a total of 4 damage from your identity and Honey Badger. It only costs 1. A total of 4 damage from your identity and Honey Badger. So we can split it up using that Regenerative Longevity. And it looks like there's 2 copies of that. There's that Sisterly Bond card that was referenced earlier. It was on her alter ego. A Sisterly Bond event, and looks like there's 1 there. It is an event, cost 0. When Honey Badger thwarts or attacks, add X-23's matching power to Honey Badger's power for this use. And that is the Sisterly Bond. Okay. Then we've got Sisterhood, which is an action. Exhaust Sisterhood and discard an X-23 card from your hand. Search your deck and discard pile for Honey Badger and add her to your hand. There it is. There's a support that will allow us to find Honey Badger. So this is the Sisterhood card. All right. And now we have Adamantium Lacing. You get plus 2 hit points. There's the upgrade. Okay, there's how we really ramp up the hit points. X-23 gains Retaliate, and her basic attacks gain Piercing. Nice 1 cost upgrade. Excellent. All right, Adamantium Lacing. You definitely want to play that if you're playing with her. And then we have another upgrade, which is a resource, Grim Resolve. Resource. Exhaust this card and take 1 damage. Generate a wild resource. Excellent. Okay. Way to get some extra economy, and it only costs 1, so that's nice. And then we have Pain Tolerance, which is a superpower upgrade. Cost 2. After you play an X-23 card, including this one, heal 1 damage from your identity. Oh, nice. A way to heal your identity when you play cards. So far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here from just her hero kit on X-23. We got Puncture Wound. We got 2 of those. It's also an upgrade. It says attached to an enemy that X-23 or Honey Badger attacks this turn. Oh, so you attach that to an enemy. I guess including here. Attached enemy gets -1 attack. Love it. Force response. After the player phase begins, discard this card and deal 3 damage to attached enemy. After the player phase begins, discard this card, deal 3 damage. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so Puncture Wound. Good card. And we got 2 of them. I really like her hero kit so far. This looks like a fun hero to play. And I hate to say that I might like this one more than Wolverine. So far, my initial instincts tell me that I'm going to like the way that this deck plays. But let's take a look at what supports her. So she's playing in the aggression aspect, apparently. Yep. And so boom boom, like boom boom. Ally, thwart 1, attack 1, X force, action, exhaust boom boom. Add 1 boom counter to her. Then you may discard boom boom to deal 1 damage to each enemy for each boom counter on her. So this is one of those allies that you want to get out there and just kind of like build her up. It costs 3 though. 2 health. So if you use her to thwart or attack, which might mean removing that thwart before, if you're in hero form so that the main scheme doesn't pop, or you want to knock that tough off, you could use boom boom for that. But her main advantage is going to be able to just clear the board. Deal 1 damage to each enemy for each boom counter on her. So I guess you can clear other people's boards too. So I'll just set these. Okay, so I'm going to set her cards up here, and we'll put the aggression cards right here, and we'll keep going. So we got Richter, who is another ally. It's always good to have multiple allies in a player in a pre-con deck, because I like to play with the pre-cons, but sometimes that's what's lacking, is a little extra support there from the ally. So Julio Richter has a thwart of 1, attack of 2. He has a response on that attack. It says, after Richter attacks, discard the top card of your deck, deal 1 damage to each minion engaged with you for each resource on the discarded card. Okay, so we're seeing another way to do multiple damage to many characters on the board. Richter does not like minions, apparently. So there we go. There's Richter. We got Shatterstar. A thwart of 2, an attack of 2, 4 health, X-Force character. It says interrupt when Shatterstar attacks a minion. Engage that minion. Okay, if you are already engaged with that minion, Shatterstar gets +1 attack for this attack. I like that. I like the fact that, okay, this looks like it's initially going to be a multiplayer card, but then it also works in solo too. And so he is primarily an attacker. Okay, because the thwart, he does 2 consequential damage, and he has 4 health, but the 4 cost heroes or allies, so that's pretty good. So far we got 3 allies in the game: Shatterstar, Richter, Boom Boom, in addition to Honey Badger. So 3 aggression allies. Now we're starting to get into the events, and we have critical hit, which it says play only if there is a side scheme in the victory display. Hero response: after you attack an enemy, stun it. Okay, so nice way to stun if you are using side schemes, which, so far I've only really found that I'm really enjoying side schemes when I play a cable game. So now maybe this will help us a little bit more. And let's see, victory display. It says play only if there is a side scheme in the victory display. So there are ways to get other side schemes in the victory display. Play with galactic artifacts, or if you're playing against Hela, this would be a good card against her. And after you attack an enemy, stun it. And it's only cost 2. So like drop kick is a stun, and you have to use certain resources for that. But this one's just a 2 cost critical hit to stun a character. So I like that card a lot. And I could see me building an aggression deck now with cable, because that's probably the aspect that I was least excited about building with cable was an aggression. I get a drink. All right, Moment of Triumph. We've seen that card before. This is the X-Men version of Moment of Triumph. It says hero response: after you attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage from your hero for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy by that attack. I'm pretty sure Moment of Triumph, I've seen that one before. I don't use it very often. After you attack and defeat an enemy, heal 1 damage to your hero for each point of excess damage dealt to that enemy. But, you know, X-23 is a healer, so it makes sense that Moment of Triumph would show up in her hero precon. And we got 3 copies of that, so we got a full round of Moment of Triumph. Oh, and there's our player side scheme, our PSS. And it's next. It says, keep them busy. It's a victory of 0, an assault. There's that assault. Let's again see what that assault does. Assault reads, when a character makes a basic thwart on a scheme with the assault keyword, that character uses its attack instead of its thwart for that thwart. If that character is an ally, it takes the consequential damage listed under its attack after the thwart. So keep them busy. It costs 1. It adds 3 threat to it when it comes into play in solo per player, so it's 3 per player. When defeated, the player who defeated this side scheme removes 5 threat from the main scheme. Okay, so it's another way to remove some threat off of that main scheme when you attack. All right. Now I'm Mad. Play under any player's control, max 1 per player, while your hero's remaining hit points are less than half your hero's starting hit points. While your hero's remaining hit points are less than half. So less than half, so half, I guess it would be 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5, less than half. Half of 10. So less than 5 starting hit points. Your hero gets +1 attack and -1 thwart. So a way to ramp up your attack if you're an aggression player. So Now I'm Mad. And there are 3 copies of Now I'm Mad here. All right, next we're going to take a look at the Direct Approach. It is an upgrade attached to a non-permanent side scheme, limit 1 per side scheme. Attached side scheme gains Assault. Basic thwarts against this scheme use attack instead of thwart. Attached to a non-permanent side scheme, limit once per side scheme. I like it. Yeah, basic thwarts use attack instead of thwarts. So this could be good in Hulk. You know, where you're really hurting to try to remove threat off of those side schemes. So now there's an added way, and you can really ramp up Hulk's ATK. So I like that a lot, actually. So that looks like that's going to be all the aggression cards that's in her hero kit. Next, we have Specialized Training, which is a victory of 0. When defeated, each player who does not control a specialization upgrade chooses one set-aside specialization upgrade and puts it into play under their control. Specialization upgrade chooses one set-aside specialization upgrade and puts it into play under their control. So that should make more sense later on, but it costs 1 to put out and is 3 on that side, or 5 per player on this side scheme, Specialized Training. So we'll see what advantages that can bring to the table. We have Energy, Genius, and Strength like we normally do in a deck. Most of the decks have these double resources. All right. And Energy, Genius, and Strength. Okay. Then we've got IPAC, which is a vehicle X-Force. Play only if your identity has the X-Force trait. I think we've seen this one before. It is a support, hero action, exhaust IPAC, and deal 1 face-down encounter card to a player. That player draws 2 cards. Yep. Looks familiar, as well as the X-Bunker. That is another support that I believe we've seen already in the game. It's a basic. And then we also have seen Endurance, but let's look at X-Bunker real quick. It says action, exhaust X-Bunker, and choose a player whose identity has the mutant trait. That player searches the top X cards of their deck for any card where X is the number of side schemes in their victory display and adds that card to their hand. X-Bunker. Choose a player who has the identity mutant trait. That player searches the top X cards of their deck for any card, and you're going to count the side schemes in the victory display and add that card to their hand. It is a support. So, yeah, I haven't got a whole lot of use out of X Bunker before. I believe this is a reprint of a card. I haven't used it very much. All right, Endurance, we've seen that one before too. That looks very familiar in the artwork. I'm not sure where we got Endurance. Was it in the Storm? But I do remember Wolverine with Endurance before. Unless I'm just losing it. All right. And we know what Endurance does. If you've been around the game for a while, it says play under any player's control, max 1 per player. You get +3 hit points, which is nice because here we are at 10 and she takes lots of damage in order to pull off her gimmick. All right, and then the last of the last here is our obligation, which is self-isolation. Give to the Laura Kinley player. Search your hand, deck, discard pile, and play area for Honey Badger and place her face down under this obligation. If you cannot, discard this card and deal yourself 1 face down encounter card. Response: after you make a basic recovery, discard this obligation and Honey Badger. Oh, so yeah, a way to strip your sister away from you. And since this is an encounter card, I'm going to put the Jet Black Matte. That's what I use for. I use Jet Black for the encounter cards, and so those are nice. Really like the Dragon Shield cards or sleeves. All right, so now we got Lady Deathstrike, who is the nemesis. X-23's nemesis is Lady Deathstrike. We saw her in a modular set before. But now we're seeing her as a nemesis. So what does Lady Deathstrike do? She has a scheme of 2, an attack of 2. She's an elite Reaver that has 5 health. When defeated, the player who defeated this minion discards the top card of the encounter deck and takes 1 indirect damage for each boost icon on that card. When defeated. So it's like her last little scrape at you is to hit you. And I bet you her Nemesis set has a lot of boost icons on it, just based upon. I would hope so. Otherwise, I'll be very disappointed. So there's Lady Deathstrike. So that's the encounter card. In the Name of Vengeance, of course, it's got 3 boosts on it. It says each enemy gains retaliate of 1. Ugh. Retaliate. It's always a pain. It comes into play with 6 threat on it. Yep. So Shadow of the Past brings out a pretty decent Nemesis set. It says, so this is Cyber Mods, which is a tech attachment. It says attached to Lady Deathstrike. If you cannot discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a minion is discarded, put that minion into play, engage with you, and attach this card to it. Forced interrupt. When attached minion would be discarded, shuffle it into the encounter deck instead. Okay. A way to keep those minions. Anything that's going to be minion support, I'm for it, right? If you know me, I'm for the minions. So, very good. Cyber Mods is her attachment. Next, we've got Critical Wound, which is attached to your identity. Forced interrupt. When your turn ends, discard this card and take 4 damage. 4 damage. Forced interrupt when your turn ends. And there's no way to cancel it. You just can't let your turn end, right? Or you need to end your turn with more than 4 health. I like it. Critical Wound. That could certainly be a critical wound in the wrong setting. So that card comes out, you're in trouble. Now Hack and Slash is our next one. And it reads, Treachery. When revealed, discard 1 random card from your hand and take damage equal to the number of printed resources on it. Okay. So Most of the time, this is going to be like a 1, but it chops at your hand, so it hacks you and it slashes you. The boost on it says discard 1 random card from your hand and take damage equal to the number of printed resources on it. So same thing. Either when revealed or when it's boosted, and you discard a random card from your hand, so you don't get to pick. That could be bad. It could be 2, or it could be a 3. You know, nowadays there's cards in there like if you're playing with Domino, there's a chance you could really get smacked hard by hack and slash. So I like the Nemesis set for X-23. I like her. I like her deck. I like the aggression cards that come with her. And the basic cards, yeah. So many of them we've seen before. So, you know, except for the specialized training, which we still need to learn about that. So, okay, let's keep going. So stop here. It says the remaining cards are not part of the X-23 pre-built deck. The player cards before this divider compose a pre-built deck for X-23. There is a deck list on the reverse side of this card for your reference. But then it says that there are the 4 specialization upgrades after this divider that can be put into play by the specialized training player side scheme and should be set aside when using X-23's pre-built deck. The other cards after this divider can be used when building your own custom player deck. The rules for deck customization are found in Appendix 1 of the rules reference. All right, so now we get our reference card here, which we'll probably sleeve that with some other sleeve, maybe later on. But here's our specialists, and it says, so this is an upgrade. It costs 2, Combat Specialist. It says linked specialized training. Your hero gets +1 attack. Hero response, after your hero performs a basic attack, exhaust this card and draw a card. Basic attack, you exhaust your hero to do the basic attack, then you exhaust this card and you can draw a card. So it's combat specialist, and it gives you a +1 attack. I like it. It's a good card. Okay, let me move these guys over here, and we'll just set these defense specialists, or set these combat specialists here. Next was defense specialist. So combat, defense, says linked specialized training. Your hero gets +1 defense. Hero response, after your hero performs a basic defense, exhaust this card and draw a card. Okay, good. So we have attack. We got defense. This one here says linked specialized training. Your hero gets +4 hit points. Response, after your identity takes damage from an enemy attack, exhaust this card. Draw 1 card. Frontline specialist. All right, make sure the backs are blue. Yep, they are. So that gets a blue sleeve. And then we've got one more, which is a surveillance specialist. Now here's where you get your thwart. Link specialized training. Your hero gets +1 thwart. Hero response, after your hero performs a basic thwart, exhaust this card, draw 1 card. Really, really powerful upgrades that you can add to your hero. So in order to get these, let's look at the rules one more time. It says linked card title. Cards with the linked keyword cannot be included. Instead, they're set aside at the start of the game. If any player's deck includes the cards that bring the linked cards into play, linked cards do not count toward the minimum or maximum deck size. So then there's the note. This product comes with 4 cards linked to the player side scheme, specialized training. These cards are found after the divider card. The back of the package should be set aside during setup when playing with the pre-built deck. Makes sense. Okay, so those are the cards that you would use when playing a game. We've got some extra cards that we can add when we customize. So the first one is Predictable Ploy. It says play only if there is a side scheme in the victory display. Hero interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. Play only if there is a side scheme in the victory display. All right, so it's a 2-coster. You just have to meet that requirement, and then you can basically neuter a when revealed effect for a predictable ploy. You get 3 of these to build around. So a full set of predictable ploy. Ooh, we got another side scheme. A player's side scheme, a leadership one. It says victory 0, cost 0. When defeated, heal 2 damage from each ally, and it costs 3. Or it comes into play with 3 per player threat on it. So if you're doing heavy allies, yeah, rally the troops. You can rally them to heal them all up. That's probably especially good in campaigns where you're using those allies that get dealt to you during the campaign that you really want to keep around for a while, like Jubilee or Magneto. Spoiler alert, if you haven't played those campaigns yet, there are allies that you can keep around for a while, especially if you keep them healthy. So rally the troops might be good for that. All right, last 3 cards. Anticipated attack says play only if there's a side scheme in the victory display. So these are all these are hinging on these side schemes. Hero interrupt defense. When an enemy initiates attack, give your hero a tough status card. So it's a 2-coster. When you defend, and it counts as a defense. When an enemy initiates attack, give your hero a tough status card. And I like the fact that they put Cyclops on there. So pretty good indicator of who might take really good advantage of a card like that. All right, so there's 3 more cards. So these are the extra cards in the back of the pack. They all look pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to playing with those. What I may do now is, rather than just dive straight into another game, is just take a little bit of a break, kind of thumb through my cards here and look at them, maybe try to get a little better idea of how some of them work. And then I'll come back in a few minutes and record another video of a playthrough, and I'm going to play against my buddy, Rhino. I always like to pick on Rhino every time a new hero comes out. It gives me an opportunity to revisit one of my favorite villains in the game, Rhino. May not be everybody's favorite, but I really like him a lot. So before I end, though, Griffons Lair is where I picked up my cards. I got them delivered to me today. So this is release day, November 17th, 2023. I ordered these in advance, and I got them on release day, which is amazing because I live several hundred miles away from the Griffons Lair Game Shops. There's one in Erie, Pennsylvania, and there's one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I live over in the Midwest. So they were able to get my cards out to me so I could get them timely in order to open them up, start playing with them here on release day. So kudos to you, Griffons Lair. If you view my channel, I'll include a link to a coupon where you can save 15% off. If you go over to the Griffons Lair, there's a coupon code that you can put in to save 15% off on products on their website. So, and they have free shipping at $75 threshold. So you order a couple of hero kits, maybe a base game or an expansion, a player mat, and there you are. You're at your $75 threshold, and you can get 15% off. So, yeah, recommend them highly. Griffons Lair. Thank you, folks, for getting those cards out to me in a timely manner this time. So I'm going to take a break, come back, record another video with a playthrough of X-23. So thanks for watching, everyone. I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me on Twitch. You can catch me on YouTube. You can catch me on Discord. You can catch me on Facebook, Board Game Lawyer, BGL on many platforms as well. And I'll be bringing you some more videos here this weekend. So happy release weekend for these brand new heroes, X-23 and Deadpool. Take care, folks, and I'll see you soon.